The devil does not act from the outside. He needs no temple of stone. His altar is the human heart. For where the soul is hollow, where love has withered and truth has fallen silent, a space opens, a dark space where something else begins to speak. When a man lies to protect himself, his perception starts to twist. When he wounds to avoid being wounded, his heart begins to harden. And when he destroys, out of fear, envy, or greed, he is often no longer master of himself. The Desert Fathers, early Christian mystics, described it this way: the devil can only seize a man where he is unwatchful, and the more he takes hold, the more the man begins to call the darkness his own. First, it is a thought, then a feeling, then an action, and in the end, an identity. The human being begins to do what is evil and calls it good. He begins to hate what is true and believes it is a lie. Not every murderer carries a weapon. Some kill with their eyes, with silence, with a frozen heart, and they believe the world owes them something. The devil feeds on this self-deception. He works in the shadows, in the blind spots of the soul, in the repressed wounds of childhood, in the loneliness of the modern mind. And so it happens, again and again. Man becomes the tool of a force that despises him. He becomes the carrier of a violence that does not originate in him, but acts through him. In Islam, the Quran says, "Indeed, the Satans whisper to their allies so that they may dispute with you." They are whisperers, not attackers. They do not storm us. They persuade. They lead us to ignore our hearts, to suppress our intuition, to override our conscience. And so he lives within us. Not with horns, not with the smell of sulfur, but in the form of bitterness, of cold superiority, of hatred cloaked in clever disguise. What we call the human being is sometimes only the stage, but the true actor stands in the shadows. Where people kill one another, it is not only hatred that speaks, but also the one who planted it. The devil feeds on the blood of nations. He ignites wars, not with weapons, but with thoughts, with pride, with honor, with false justice. He does not stand at the front. He sits in the shadows behind the thrones, whispering strategies, sowing fear, igniting flames in the name of the fatherland. And while thousands die, he remains unseen, a cold architect of suffering. The devil does not scream. He whispers, and he whispers best where everything seems normal. He does not only act in extremes, not only in war, murder, or despair. He loves the ordinary, the everyday, the seemingly harmless distractions. When someone speaks badly of others every day, not out of truth, but out of a hunger for power, his heart grows darker without him even noticing. When years pass in a marriage where partners only control each other instead of truly seeing one another, violence takes root, silent but poisonous. When a child grows up in a house where no one hits, but no one embraces either, the cold seeps into their soul and stays. The Russian mystic Fyodor Dostoevsky once wrote, "The devil does not fight against God. He fights against you, inside your heart." The devil needs no apocalypse. He only needs your doubt, your impatience, your silence when you should have spoken. He thrives in structures without compassion, in systems without a soul, in success without mercy. He lives in eyes where no humanity is left to see, in voices that only judge, in thoughts that cut like knives, again and again, quietly and precisely. Some violence has no sound, but it works deeply, daily, unnoticed. And so we begin to see the devil is not just in the exception, he is in the habit, where love is replaced by duty, where understanding is traded for control, where people no longer live, only function. There, he reigns. What remains of a person when the body has fallen, and nothing stands anymore between him and the truth? What happens to a soul that has surrendered, day by day, to the whispering of the devil? A lie is no game. It leaves marks, not only upon the world, but upon the very being of the one who lives it. When a person knows what is good and rejects it, when he sees the light and turns away from it, when he loves what divides, humiliates, and destroys, then his soul begins to reshape. Not in an instant, but slowly, like stone hardening in the dark. And when death comes, the soul takes that shape with it. Mysticism teaches, death is not a new beginning, it is a revelation. The mask falls, and what lies beneath is shown. A man encounters what he has become, not what he pretended to be, but what truly moved him within. And if what moved him came from darkness, then his soul too will enter that darkness. Saint Isaac of Nineveh said, "Hell is the suffering of being no longer able to love God." And so it is. Not only fire, not only whips, but something deeper beneath it all. An inner state of abandonment, a soul that has closed itself and can no longer receive the light. But the Holy Scriptures are clear. This separation is not just inward. It leads to a real, final judgment when a person ultimately rejects the light. In the New Testament, Jesus himself speaks of hell, Gehenna, as the place of unquenchable fire, where the worm does not die, and there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Fear the one who can destroy both body and soul in hell. Hell is not merely a symbol there, but a final consequence, a place where truth can no longer be denied, but can no longer save either. In the Quran, this condition is described with equal clarity as a burning, speaking place of reckoning, a fire that consumes not only the body, but the soul itself. And they will say, If only we had listened or reasoned, we would not be among the companions of the blazing fire.